Hi there, I'm Black Bright. Well, I'm actually dark shades in this video. And I just wanted to talk about Love Island. It's day one. I've just had an opportunity to watch it. And I just wanted to give a few comments because I just love Love Island. I like it because it pulls on so many of our emotions. And I kind of think to myself, what is it about Love Island? Why so many females love it so much? And I think it's because we can identify with the vulnerability we feel in relationships, with the need for acceptance and validity, the need to be endorsed, the need to be acknowledged, the need to feel accepted. And when we also feel, the pain of rejection. Today, Justine was rejected 3 times. And you can imagine how that must make her feel. We do not know the past lives of these islanders who go onto these shows. And sometimes we do not know what might trigger emotional disparity or emotional upset or emotional pain. We do not know. But I was thinking that when Justine was rejected 3 times, I thought, whoa, that's a lot to take in on the first night. Yes, it's the first night, and I mean, in the real world, you would say it's absolutely ridiculous to have any kind of feelings at all. But you have to remember, number one, you're on TV, you're being watched by millions, you're in the middle of nowhere. And when you are rejected, you're not just rejected in private, you're rejected in front of the whole world. So when she stood out for Jeremiah, and Jeremiah bypassed her and went for somebody who was already with someone, can you imagine how that would have made her feel? To think that he'd prefer to take somebody who was coupled up with someone else than to take her. So that was her first dose of rejection. Then you have to think about the second time of rejection. This is when she realised that they're in a friend zone. And was that the second one? Yeah, I think that was the second one. When she realised she was in the friend zone and she decided to ask him whether or not they could make it work. And he kind of reluctantly said yes. I mean, it was obvious that he wasn't really interested. And then to put the hammer in the coffin, he gets asked out on a date and he jumps up and down like, cat that's got the cream. So we have to kind of think about things like that when we're watching these programs. What people are going through is fine. Yes, we watch it. We do watch it and we love watching it because, like I said, we can identify with the emotions. But what kind of emotions are we watching? And I was thinking about Connor and Mackenzie. And Connor, he obviously feels as though he's punching above his weight, even though I don't like that phrase. And he feels insecure and he's expecting her to run after him. And I thought it was quite brave of her to ask him whether or not that is the type of person he is. And he's saying, oh yeah, well, for now. I mean, how long is that going to go on for? Does he think that she's going to be running after him? She stepped out for him. He didn't have to take her from anyone. And he didn't have to need that approval. She actually stepped out for him. So he should know from that she likes him. And the fact that he's kind of aloof, and even though he's got butterflies in his stomach, it's a bit of a shame. I think when you go on Love Island, you have to put your neck on the line. You have to. You have to give it everything you've got. And it's similar to Trey, because Trey decided to kiss Caitlin. And I think he kissed Caitlin because he knew that Johnny was going to take Cely. And I think because he was so caught up with Cely, it was his way of lessening the pain, lessening the rejection. Because he's another one who's felt rejected now because Cely has gone off with Johnny. and that's going to be flaunted in front of his face, even though he said he's going to try and get it back. We do not know. I think Trey and Cely were a better match, not visually, but with regard to what they had in common. I mean, she's a cheerleader, he's a footballer, and they seem to have quite a lot in common. I think they lived quite close to each other as well. So, well, she hadn't even heard of where Johnny came from, and I thought that laughter was a bit over the top, OTT, just because you hadn't heard of Virginia. I'm like, you know, bit immature, that part. There's a mature part of her, and there's like an immature part of her. I thought she was quite mature when oh, what's that girl's name? Caitlin went and told her that Trey kissed her. And then she said, we have an open relationship and I'll talk to him about it. I thought that was quite a mature stance to take. But then when she was kind of laughing about, and it was kind of excessive laughing, I thought, maybe I looked too much into things. But I really thought it was quite interesting today. I really liked the first night. I like the fact that James and Moira are getting on. They look like they will actually last the course. The two of them look pretty stable. I like Connor and Mackenzie, and I hope he kind of, increases his self-esteem and doesn't feel so insecure about her, because she is a beautiful woman, but she's also quite a sensitive one. And I think the fact that she's been out with millionaires is neither here nor there, because you can go out with people who have money, and then they don't make you feel as though you're wanted. They don't give you much nurturance. And it'd be sad to know that even though he doesn't have money, he can't give her the nurturance that she's looking for. I think maybe when she saw him, she was hoping that he would give her what the rich guys didn't give her. But it looks like she's going to end up in the same place without that kind of love or without that kind of nurturance. So, what else was there? Oh yeah. Oh, the third part of rejection I was thinking of is that when Jeremiah was forced to couple up with Justin after he rejected her and went for Cely, he was forced because he was the only single man and she was the only single woman. How does that feel? It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting the left hand, the leftovers. I'm second-hand goods. How does that feel? I tell you, those people, they put themselves through a lot of emotions. I mean, we watch it and we're kind of thinking, we might watch it on a very superficial level, but they must be going through a hell of a lot. And I mean, Caitlin looks like she's jealous as hell of Cely. And you can't blame her. I mean, 3 men after Cely. And they all were with somebody, and yet each one of them wanted to take her away from the person that she was with. I mean, she is kind of a hot commodity, isn't she? And I can understand why. She's confident, she's pretty, she's open. She doesn't seem to have any hang-ups. So yeah, I can understand why they like her. And she lets them know, she talks with her eyes. I don't know if you've seen that yet. So let me see what else. And also that she was quite suggestive when she said to Johnny, I'm feeling wet already. I mean, I know she was talking about something totally different, but it did have sexual connotations, which must have triggered some interest in him. And I think Carrington, when Johnny took Caitlin away, and all of a sudden he decides that he's going to kiss her, and I thought that was a bit territorial. I don't know if you thought the same thing. I don't know which place it was coming from, but Caitlin doesn't really like him, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's because he looks young. I mean, he's not a bad-looking bloke, but yeah, I think at the moment they're at a stage where they just want somebody. They just want somebody to kiss and get in bed with and stuff like that. I don't think we're going to know who's really attracted to who until further down the line. This is just day 1. So as usual, we have these black girls who seem to get rejected, first off. But they must watch the show. I don't know why they might think that they're going to be treated differently. And I mean, this one's saying, oh, I feel so terrible. I feel this and I feel that. I mean, haven't you watched the show? I mean, most of these black men that come on these shows, they like white women or they like mixed race women. They don't really like dark women. And I think it's because the type of men who would like dark women won't go on Love Island because it's a very commercial um, program. So somebody who's conscious of, or black conscious has black consciousness and who wants a black woman, they're not going to go on Love Island. So you're kind of setting yourself up. I mean, Mike from the last series, he did, but I mean, normally it's not that case. Normally we see the females, and I don't think I think he came in afterwards, but I don't think I've ever seen, like in that first round, somebody choosing a black woman. I don't think I have. And I think they set themselves up anyway, because, I mean, the type of men that go on there, and I mean, most of those men, as you look on them, I mean, I wouldn't have even stood out. I mean, for Jeremiah, I would have looked at him and I thought, yeah, I know the type that you want. And I wouldn't even embarrass myself by putting myself forward. I prefer to be chosen. And I think that's quite a good tactic, because a lot of those women, I think they don't step forward because it gives them the power, doesn't it? If somebody comes better afterwards, if they haven't stepped out, that means that they can just jump ship if they want, when you think about it. Because by stepping forward, you're actually saying to somebody, I like you. And then supposing somebody comes in afterwards that you like and you've already stepped out, it makes you look a bit fickle. So if you don't step out and allow somebody to choose you, that you still got your integrity intact, haven't you? You can still look good. So when somebody nicks you, even though you wanted to go with them anyway, you don't have to look bad. You can think, oh well, I didn't choose you anyway. So I kind of like that kind of tactic, that they do not step forward. I mean, Mackenzie was brave enough to step forward for Connor, though. So she must have really liked him. But the majority of them, they just let the men choose them. And I think it's a better feeling when somebody steps out. I mean, most of us, we would like to know that whoever chooses us, or if we choose, they want to be with us. So it's fine stepping forward for one of these guys, or a guy stepping, or a woman stepping forward. But does that person really want to be with me, or are they just taking me because I stepped out? So there's all those feelings of, you need the reassurance, you need the validation, you need all those emotions are going on just through those simple processes that they're put through. And I don't know if the housemates really realize what they're putting themselves through. I don't know if they realize that, all of these dynamics are taking place. So, I mean, it's only we as observers actually see that. So, I think, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I already mentioned that I thought that Trey should have said to Cely that he kissed Caitlin. And I think that's only because I think he was covering his back. I think he knew that Johnny was going to take Cely and he just wanted to feel better about himself. But I'm not quite sure if I said that before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to day 2. I love Love Island, and I'm going to be updating you with my thoughts and the dynamics of what's going on. And that's all for now. Bye bye.